Listen, never thought I'd be saying this on the last day of the group stage in the Champions League, but Pep Guardiola and Man City could be out of Europe tonight. City commentary is live right now with Ian Danter and Stuart Pearce over on Talksport 2. Updates from the Etihad on Talksport from Mickey Gray to come as we bring you commentary of a Battle of Britain with consequences. Aston Villa face Celtic. It's live on Talksport with former Aston Villa and Republic of Ireland captain Andy Townsend, alongside your commentator on Talksport, Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you. For a match that would have been mouth-watering enough even if it hadn't been for the jeopardy of a climactic final night in the Champions League group stage. It is young Glaswegian George Ramsey who put Aston Villa on the footballing map when he joined the infant club in the 1870s, beginning a 50-year association as a player and then as the world's first football manager. But it's only tonight, 150 years into Villa's history, that they face Glaswegian opposition for the first time in a competitive fixture. Celtic's recent Champions League excursions have all ended prematurely, but not this one. Even with a game to spare, they're guaranteed to finish in the top 24 and get out of the group for the first time in 12 years. Tonight's aim is for them to become one of the seeded teams in next month's playoffs, giving them a theoretically easier draw and home advantage in the second leg, and a win here in Birmingham will achieve that. Successful night for Villa would mean a top 8 finish, bypassing the playoffs completely, going straight through to the round of 16 in March. Now the exact permutations are convoluted. Suffice to say, victory tonight would almost certainly be enough, and a draw wouldn't be, except in extraordinary circumstances with 9 other results going their way. Andy, I'm glad that when our own in-house draw was made, I won the chance to talk about the football and you've ended up on maths duty.
Yeah, good luck with that, Jim. Look, I'm really looking forward to tonight, and I think so far the way this new Champions League format has panned out, we couldn't have asked for a lot more, could we? Genuine jeopardy in so many matches across Europe this evening, and we've got one right here at Villa Park. Can't wait for it to start.
It's a great tifo at the Hold End. One of Aston's most famous sons, Ozzy Osbourne, who was brought up on Lodge Road, only a stone's throw from here.
Yeah.
And his big beaming face with the familiar glasses grinning down from the Hold End away to our right-hand side a few moments ago. This is how the two sides line up. Martinez in goal for the Villa. Cash, Konsa, Bakala and Digne. Tielemans and Kamara. Bailey, Rogers and Ramsey. And Watkins. For Celtic, it's Schmeichel, Johnston, Trusty, Scales and Taylor. McGregor anchoring the midfield with Engels and Hattati either side of him. Kuhn, Ida and Yang. Now the easiest way of looking at it is this. Villa need to win here and hope that Atalanta don't win in Barcelona. Now, there are a myriad of nuances away from that, but that is a decent starting point. Villa know they need to win and hope that Atalanta don't. And then we'll keep you up to date with all of the goals as they go in and all the subtleties as well. For Celtic, they know they've got to win. If they do, they're going to be seeded and they will finish in the top 16, which would be an extremely creditable finish. Celtic in their change kit tonight, not in the hoops but in all dark green. Villa in the famous claret and blue with white shorts. Celtic haven't turned them round, so Villa defending the Hold End in this first half. It is a night for slide rules and log tables, for degrees in calculus and game theory. 18 simultaneous matches around the continent affecting the final league table and defining fate, and amongst them the small matter of Villa Celtic, 2 former European champions going head-to-head for the first time, with both having plenty on the line. Here, live with passion on Talksport. And the ball played back for Liam Scales from the kickoff. Down towards Austin Trusty, who had a season on loan at Birmingham City just round the corner, and as such expect that he'll get the odd isolated boo when he's in possession. He's got it now and goes all the way back for Kasper Schmeichel. He'll take a touch, work it out on the left-hand side of the penalty area for Scales. Formidable atmosphere 30 seconds in, Andy.
Yeah, great atmosphere. A nice composed play from Celtic in this opening just exchanges. Villa so far haven't had a touch of the ball.
Cash back defending, but Celtic in a position that they can bring it forward with McGregor in the midfield. And he's worked it down towards the right-hand side for Ali Johnston, the Canadian. Back for Liam Scales. Boos whenever Celtic are in possession. Taylor plays it forward, it's given away. And out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Aston Villa right. Remember that Manchester City-Bruges game where City have to win. Live for you right now over on Talksport 2. Yet again, a choice of listening on the Talksport network tonight. We'll keep you up to date with all of the goals as they go in. This one 0-0 with 90 seconds gone. And first chance for Bakada to play it out from the back to find Kamara on the edge of his own penalty area. He then turns it into space for Rodgers, chests it down and then can invite Cash forward over on the far touchline. The Aston Villa right. Infield from him to Bailey. Bailey towards Rodgers on the edge of the penalty area, and Celtic have got enough bodies back. Hatate can bring it away.
Yeah, unlucky. He could break that from Villa. Just required a better pass, better decision from Morgan Rodgers.
Villa doing well to win it back and get it back for Martinez. Away to our right-hand side, still waiting for the first goal to go in anywhere so far this evening. And looking at the way that Villa are lining up, they've actually dropped Kamara in at centre-half alongside Konsa. Bakada, who has played at centre-half and full-back in his young career, is playing in the centre of midfield, Andy.
Yes, he is, yeah. Funny enough, I heard Unai Emery talking in the build-up to this one about the need for the right balance in the centre of defence. Now, Kamara's not left-footed, he's right-footed, but he's been reluctant to put Bahada in there. He's gone into the middle of the park.
Villa working it forward here for Digne. Yarding from the left-hand touchline. The Villa change at centre-half. Necessity because of Ming's injuries. Ramsey pulling it back. And Morgan Rodgers runs onto it and scores. 2.5 minutes in to the Battle of Britain at Villa Park. And the Roar tells you that Aston Villa have got off to the perfect start. Morgan Rodgers, 8 yards out, firing past Schmeichel. Villa 1, Celtic 0, and Villa fulfilling their half of the bargain.
What a start to the game. We officially have lift-off of Villa Park. That's a brilliant, brilliant goal. Wonderful interplay down the left-hand side between Jacob Ramsey and Kamara. And then once Ramsey gets to the byline, it's just then a question, can he pick someone out in a crowd scene in the 6-yard box? The answer to that is emphatically yes, because he rolls it into the path of Morgan Rodgers, who slams it past Kasper Schmeichel from about 4 or 5 yards out. The goalkeeper, no chance at all. What a start to the game.
Now scored in 4 of his last 5 appearances here, Morgan Rodgers. It's his first ever Champions League goal. And it is potentially a big one. Elsewhere, Atletico Madrid already leading at Salzburg 1-0, Inter 1, Monaco 0, and Villa in the live table up to 5th. Top 8 finish is what they want. And they're 5th as things stand right now. Here's Rodgers again! And he scores again! Wow! Played in by Watkins. Minimal backlift, little deflection on the way through. He scored 2 in a minute and a half. And less than 4.5 in, it is Villa 2, Celtic 0.
Well, we've hardly had time to draw breath from the first one going in. And within seconds, Morgan Rodgers has added a second. I'm not sure whether there was a slight deflection on the shot which made it dip over the top of Kasper Schmeichel, leaving him totally stranded. But again, the pressure from Villa around the edge of Celtic's box. It's half cleared from the goalkeeper. Villa recycle it, and eventually the ball is played to Watkins into the path of Morgan Rodgers. There's a slight deflection, I think, of Liam Scales, but it dips right over the top of Kasper Schmeichel to fly into the back of the net and give Villa a 2-goal cushion in minutes.
Second goal this evening, number 27, Morgan Rodgers.
What an extraordinary start. And now Yang will be able to bring it forward here for Celtic. The South Korean, left-hand side of the penalty area. Back from him to Hatate. Yang pulling it back. Hatate's 15 yards outside the penalty area as he works it to his left-hand side. Well, McGregor can work it round the corner. Now a left-footed ball driven in by Scales. It's a low one. Bakada got a first touch to it. It ricocheted high up in the air and he can head it away. Lille leading Feyenoord 1-0. Atletico ahead in Salzburg. Inter 1, Monaco 0. Villa 2, Celtic 0. And Manchester City against Bruges still 0-0 in the early stages. The ball played over the top towards Adam Eder is overhit, goes through for Emi Martinez, and we're 6 minutes in here at Villa Park, where Aston Villa leads Celtic 2-0.
Well, very few would have predicted the start of this game, particularly after literally the first minute, because Celtic kept the ball really nicely. And then all of a sudden, out of nothing, Jacob Ramsey provided Morgan Rogers for the first, and then sloppily from a Celtic point of view, they only half cleared it and got punished again. So now they've got mountains to climb.
So in the live table right now, Villa 6th, Arsenal 5th, Liverpool still top, Manchester City still 25th, 0-0 in their game. Scales hooking it away, brought down by Watkins with his back to the direction of play. Tielemans works it to his left-hand side. Celtic down a couple of places to 20th from their starting berth. But remember, as Villa are caught offside here, no matter what happens tonight, Celtic know they're okay. They are going to finish in the top 24. Game of significance elsewhere, Stuttgart against PSG. PSG in the playoffs, providing they draw, they lead. Bradley Barker's 14th of the season. They lead at Stuttgart by a goal to 0. Good news really for Manchester City, that as ball is played forward, Eder right hand side of the area has done well to show good strength. The clearance isn't great, left-footed effort, and it spirals just wide of Martinez's left-hand post. Really well struck there by Kuhn. Running onto it, left-footed effort, and it's gone past the goalkeeper and wide. Let's get some breaking news from Talksport's football correspondent Alex Crook.
And it involves Aston Villa and a man on the bench tonight, John Duran. He will undergo medical, we understand, tomorrow ahead of completing a move to Saudi Arabia, to Al Nassr. The fee is £64 million plus add-ons, and that means Ollie Watkins now surely will stay.
So breaking news, thank you, Crookie. John Duran on his way out. And Buendia's gone today. Duran set to go tomorrow for an initial £64 million.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's quite odd that you should have a scenario surrounding the two strikers just literally minutes before such an important Champions League game. Hey, listen, that's the modern game for you, but I'm disappointed that John is going to Saudi Arabia. I totally get it and understand the financial reasons why, Jim, I really do. But I'm disappointed because I've enjoyed watching him here at Villa Park, and it will be a shame if that one happens, but it looks like it is.
Well, lots of players have moved there. Listen, I understand the reasons.
You can. Not only do you secure your own financial situation, Jim, you have wives, your kids,
of course,
everything, the family, everybody. You know, you get everybody right. So I totally get it.
But not many go at the age of 21.
No, that's it. That's why that would have been there, I'm sure, for John Duran maybe in a year or two's time. Hey, listen, it sounds like a decision has been made. And of course, for John Duran himself, he can go there and he can enjoy all of the financial reward that's going to come his way. And he can have 2 or 3 or 4 years there and still only be in his mid-20s.
Absolutely. Villa leading 2-0 here, 2 up inside 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Scales bringing it forward for Celtic, who in the live table, as I mentioned, down in 20th right now. Yang trying to find a way through. Can't do so. Bakada on the edge of his own penalty area, playing in the centre of midfield. Lays it back for Konsa. Konsa out towards Cash down the right back position for a moment for Villa. Tielemans waiting on the edge of the penalty area for an outball. Konsa's done really well to step round the challenge that was coming his way in midfield. It's worked forward. Ramsey couldn't quite get it to stick, and Scales will be able to play it back for Schmeichel. Bayern Munich leads Slovan Bratislava by a goal to 0. Thomas Muller has scored that. Bayern are going to be okay. They're hoping for a place in the top 8. It's very unlikely. They need a lot of favours elsewhere. Ball played forward here by Johnston. straight through for Martinez. High time. We went to Manchester. Find out how City are getting on in that must-win game against Bruges. Here's Mickey Gray.
11 minutes on the clock. Manchester City 0, Club Bruges 0. It's the away side who had the best opportunity in the game. It came for Chemsdean Talby after 2 minutes. Zolas got in behind on the left-hand side. He played the ball back to the penalty spot, and the chance came from Talby. It was blocked, but City are just trying to break down a wall at the moment. They have no luck yet so far. Manchester City 0, Club Bruges 0.
Now let's keep you abreast of what else is going on. Toby Gillies.
Yeah, the big potential story tonight of PSG going out doesn't look like it's going to happen. Bradley Barcola with a simple header from a corner that was flicked on from the right-hand side, giving them a 1-0 lead at Stuttgart, who, if they lose tonight, are at risk of going out altogether. Inter lead Monaco by a 0-0 penalty for Lisandro Martinez, and Bayern's goal, old-fashioned Thomas Müller goal, cross from the right, Müller header. They are 1-0 up, and they have to beat Slovan Bratislava for a chance at top 8.
Now Celtic have won a corner here at Villa Park as they look to try and get themselves back into this game. Corner that will be taken on the right flank, the first of the night. It's worked short towards Kuhn. Kuhn to McGregor on the right-hand side. Played in across the edge of the penalty area. Kuhn onto his left foot, clipping it in, and it's just taking a touch. Kamara forced to come back and defend. Flick it away and put it out of play for another corner. It's a good ball.
Was a good ball in the box, actually. There are good numbers in there as well. And as you say, Boubacar Kamara, in trying to clear that, just sort of sliced it behind for another corner, this time on the far side.
Second goal for Atletico Madrid, guaranteed a top 8 spot if they win. They're 2 up away to Salzburg. Another corner to be taken over on the Celtic left-hand side. That's going to be Engels, who will go across to take it, the £11 million signing. Scales trying to wriggle away from the penalty spot. He's got Kamara's hands around him as he sees the ball swung in very deep over his shoulder, and the referee spotting some pushing and shoving at the far post has given Aston Villa a free kick. It was Leon Bailey that was just east of the ground there. Free kick that will be taken by Villa's Emi Martinez. They lead 2-0 with 13 minutes gone.
Yeah, a little bit of positive football from Celtic just now. Nicholas Kuhn picked the ball up and he ran and sprinted beyond Luca Digne. So we all know now that when he gets the ball and he gets a chance to set the full-back up one-on-one, if he pushes it beyond him, he's got the legs on him.
Martinez bringing the ball out from the back. These are the latest scores. Villa 2, Celtic 0, Bayern 1, Slovan Bratislava 0, Inter 1, Monaco 0, Lille 1, Feyenoord 0, Atletico 2 up at Salzburg, PSG leading at Stuttgart 1-0. Everything else goalless at the moment. As things stand right now, Manchester City would be going out. Villa, Arsenal and Liverpool all top 8 finishes. Celtic would be unseeded in the playoffs. That's the situation right now. PSG would make it through, and Stuttgart would hold on by the skin of their teeth to qualify. It's Martinez. It's a ball inside his own penalty area. Play down towards the Aston Villa left. Kamara can get his right foot underneath it and flight it forward. Scales is there to head it away. And then Hadamida leading the line for so. It's actually headed it back. Satate, I beg your pardon, headed it back through the midfield straight to a man in claret and blue. And Aston Villa are able to bring it forward here with Matty Cash. Cash is 15 yards outside the penalty area. And then goes all the way back for Bakada to Konsa in turn, and Ezri Konsa can just calm things down. They're going through almost a little bit of a lull after the electrifying start that saw Villa score twice after barely 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, it was a blistering start of the game, it really was, Jim. And you're right, Villa happy now to keep possession and draw Celtic onto them and then try and play through them. Clip balls into Morgan Rogers, who's just in behind Ollie Watkins. And of course Celtic have got to make sure that if they do want to go after Villa and press, that they all go collectively and they squeeze and they do it as a one. If they just go in their odd numbers here and there, they'll get picked off.
Luca Digne's got the ball. The left back position, he's played it back towards the edge of the area. Tielemans very neatly finding Ramsey. It's a great turn by him, and he squeezed it beautifully down the left-hand touchline for Digne. Back infield from him to Tielemans. Nice reverse ball from him to Rogers. Rogers to Ramsey. This ends up in a goal. It'll be brilliant. Cleared by Scales. Cash comes onto it. Cash right-footed, hits Scales, and he's blocked and goes out of play for a throw.
Great football. When Villa go up through the gears at the moment, Celtic can't handle it. They can't cope. Villa are sprinting beyond their opposite numbers in green at the minute, and Celtic need to liven up and liven up pretty quickly. If they concede another one, this is going to be done and dusted, this game, in 20 minutes.
Final order equalised at Lille, 1-1 there. You're listening to Aston Villa against Celtic in the Champions League, live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Long throw inside the penalty area. It's headed away by Trusty. Now back towards the edge of the centre circle. Kamara just clipping one over the top, back out to the Villa right. Nice first touch comes from Cash. Bailey tried to play Rodgers in. Celtic will get it away. Hatate's given Ida something to chase after here. Kamara on the edge of the penalty area. Ida getting towards the byline, gets past him, pulls it back into the 6-yard box, but there was nobody there.
No, it's a good run from Adam Ida, but he's got to have a little look. He pushes it past Kamara, gets right to the byline where the byline meets the 6-yard line, cuts it back, just goes straight into Emi Martinez's hands. No Celtic player able to catch him.
Inter leading Monaco by 2-0, and Cash is going to be able to bring it forward up the Aston Villa right. He checks on the edge of the penalty area and then goes back into a deeper position and brings in Tielemans to his left hand side for Kamara. Villa leading Celtic by 2-0. Benfica a goal up at Juventus with Vangelis Pavlidis scoring that goal. Benfica know that they'll be in the playoffs if they win tonight. Pavlidis' 11th goal of the season. They'll be hoping to make themselves fireproof irrespective of what happens at Manchester City, whose game is still 0-0 with Bruges. Back he goes into the heart of the Villa defence. Those two early Morgan Rogers goals, the difference between the two teams. Celtic down to 21st in the live table right now. Manchester City, as things stand, will be heading out. The other three English teams all in the top 8. Kamara just inside his own half. Lays it back behind square for Konsa. Konsa to Kamara again. Kamara now can turn, and he's seen the run of Ramsey ahead of him. Watkins is there as well. He's trying to release Ramsey. It's mopped up easily enough at the back by Johnston. Not the best ball back for Schmeichel. Had to scamper after it to a wide position in his penalty area under pressure from Watkins. Schmeichel then was out of his goal for a while, but Villa couldn't make the most of the loose ball in the midfield, and Celtic are going to be able to bring it away, and they can get it forward with Greg Taylor up the left.
Yeah, just saw Unai Emery there as Leon Bailey actually tried a first-time ball and he got cut out. The Villa boss jumping up and down, going crazy in the technical area, because Villa have shown good patience, and then when they break forward and go in numbers at real pace, they look very dangerous, very dangerous.
McGregor for Taylor. Back towards halfway again for Liam Scales. Let's go back to Toby Gillies.
Yeah, there's been some big goals. Atletico Madrid are now 2-0 up in their all-important clash this afternoon, and it's a fabulous goal down the right-hand side. Great breakaway, sensational ball in by Simeone, and Antoine Griezmann, simple tap-in after it was looped over the goalkeeper. So they are now 2-0 up against RB Salzburg. And important news from Inter, who are now 2-0 up against Monaco, whom Christian Marissa has been sent off. Lautaro Martinez, teed up by Nicolo Barella, has made it 2-0 there. They now look certain of qualifying for the top 8.
PSG, 2 goals to the good. The ball out towards the right-hand side for Cash. Cash back in field for Bacada. And now comes down towards Kamara. Kamara into the feet of Luca Digne. Digne controlling it, going back for Kamara again. Kamara working to his right-hand side for Tielemans. Villa in complete control of this game. So the isolated opportunity for Celtic on the counter-attack, but it's Villa bossing possession and looking good value for the 2-0 lead.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Jim, keeping the ball nicely, not afraid to go backwards, sidewards, getting the two centre-halves involved, but when they push forward, they always look menacing.
Ramsey chipping one over the top, down towards Digne, left-hand side of the penalty area. Takes a touch, gets towards the byline, tries to win a corner, can't do so. It's well defended by Kuhn, and he's going to be able to bring it away into the feet of Hatate. Has possession robbed off him, but it goes out of play off Picada for a throw that will be taken on the Celtic right. Let's find out how Arsenal are getting on in the early stages. And Girona, Alex Crook.
It's still Girona 0, Arsenal 0, but Arsenal excellent so far. They have had the ball in the back of the net, but Ricardo Calafiori clearly in an offside position. Raheem Sterling really lively for the Gunners, but it's still Girona 0, Arsenal 0.
What about Liverpool, top of the mega table at the moment? Away to PSV, Adam Bridge.
Yeah, PSV 0, Liverpool 0. Bright start from Chiesa, only his second start for Liverpool. He stung the hands of Benitez. That was the first save of the game. PSV a couple of corners and a free kick a few moments ago from Veerman, just over the top, not forcing Kelleher into a save as yet. PSV 0, Liverpool 0.
Dinamo Zagreb lead Milan by a goal to 0. Martin Bacciarina with that. That means that as things stand, they would go through Dinamo. Stuttgart would be knocked out. Manchester City have gone down to 26th in the table. Dinamo would only go through if Manchester City can't find a way past Bruges. But as things stand right now, City will be eliminated and Stuttgart would go out. They're 2 down against PSG. And Dinamo Zagreb, who have been hit for 9 within this tournament, would be going through as things stand right now because they lead Milan by a goal to 0. Emi Martinez has got the ball on the edge of the D. You're with Talksport. Jim Pravitt and Andy Townsend talking through the action where Villa lead with 2 very early Morgan Rogers goals. Trusty and Watkins going for the same ball. Trusty playing himself into a little bit of trouble, then blocked Digne off. Ball dribbles over the line and out of play for a goal kick. But Digne has won the free kick and Trusty just helping him to the ground as he tried to get past, and Clement Turpin, the French referee, has given Villa a free kick about a yard from the left-hand side of the penalty area and 7 or 8 from the dead ball line.
I think where Celtic are coming up short so far, Jim, is that when they go out of possession, they're jogging. They're jogging between Villa players, and the Villa boys, when they've got the ball, are playing at a completely different rate of knots. So they need to switch on, react a lot quicker than they have so far.
Bologna lead at Sporting by a goal to 0. Bologna already out. Sporting in the playoffs, providing they win, but they're losing by a goal to 0. The free kick which will be taken on the Aston Villa left by Yuri Tielemans. There are 2 in the wall. Schmeichel happy that McGregor and Kuhn are protecting that near post. Villa have only got 1 body, that's Ezri Konsa, inside the 6-yard box, but plenty, only a couple of yards adrift, are going to be making runs in, including Rogers, who's on a hat-trick. Tielemans raises his left arm above his head, just clips it in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It was Bailey that he came closest to, then Tielemans back through a crowd of players, couldn't really make the contact on the shot that he wanted, and it's cleared by Celtic all the way back for Martinez.
Yeah, just a clipped ball forward in there from Yuri Tielemans. Eventually come to Cash, as you said, hit it on the volley, hit it quite nice, but a lot of traffic between him and Kasper Schmeichel. But again, the perfect start for Aston Villa. I mentioned before the game about they've looked a little tired at times, particularly second half against West Ham at the weekend. It's just been really tough going for them. They've lost some key players, etc. But the perfect tonic for them this evening to come flying out the box and get a couple of goals.
Possession 63-37 in Villa's favour. Morgan Rogers on 3 minutes and 5, and Villa leads Celtic by 2 goals to 0. Liverpool still 0-0, Arsenal still 0-0, and so are Manchester City. Let's find out how close they've come to breaking the deadlock with Mickey Gray.
Yeah, Manchester City 0, Club Brugge 0, but Manchester City are knocking on the door. They've just been wasteful in the final third. Kevin De Bruyne a moment ago just firing wide. Bernardo Silva deflected shot went wide as well, but they need to do more in that final third. Club Brugge are just sitting back and soaking up the pressure, Jim. Manchester City 0, Club Brugge 0.
Yeah, Bruges have won 14 of their last 19 games, unbeaten since they played Milan back in October. Now Celtic could be in. Right-footed shot from the edge of the penalty area from Hatate. And it was after a Villa mistake, and he couldn't make the most of the chance. He just rolled his way towards the edge of the penalty area. He took it on a touch, but he couldn't celebrate his 200th career appearance with a goal.
Such a bad ball from Digne, that to Camara. It's a sloppy, careless pass. Hatate there was onto it pretty quickly. Could have had a touch, you know, and maybe had a little look at exactly where Emi Martinez was.
He scored against Leipzig. He could have added to that tally with his 8th of the season there. Villa bring it forward with Cash. Bottom right-hand corner of the penalty area. Villa looking for a third. Left-footed ball clipped in. Digne coming round the back, wasn't deep enough for him. Ramsey! And it's hit the foot of the post and ricochets up into the hands of Schmeichel.
Wow. Again, there's a lot of static Celtic defending there when that ball arrives in the box. Eventually it finds Jacob Ramsey on his left foot. He doesn't get it absolutely flush because he's under pressure from Engels, but it hits the post, hit Kasper Schmeichel's foot, then goes up in the air, looks like it's about to hit the crossbar, and the goalie just grabs it in the last second.
Now Ramsey, lifelong Villa fan, brought up round the corner from here, and he's talked about the pride that he and his family feel, him having the opportunity to represent his hometown club in the Champions League. Has scored a Champions League goal this season in Switzerland. Villa got off to the perfect start and they have not looked back. Johnston playing the ball down the Celtic right-hand side. Kuhn turning it neatly around the corner for Engels. Right-footed ball fired in, far too close to Martinez. And he will be able to pick it up and bowl it out quickly for Yuri Tielemans. And Tielemans can now bring it through the midfield before he's just pushed to the ground there by Engels. Clement Turpin comes across, just has a word with him, no yellow card, but it's a free kick to Villa inside their own half. They lead 2-0 here on Talksport.
Yeah, Arne Engels there, he was chasing back with Yuri Tielemans. It's close to the halfway line. It's a foul on the Villa man, and of course when you're 2 up on a night like this, any chance you get to stop the game, break the game up, take your free kicks, have a breather, you do it, you use it. Celtic have actually got into a couple of good areas, particularly in between Kamara and Digne down Villa's left at the back, but not made the most of it.
Now Digne's going to be able to bring the ball forward here for Villa. Finding Rodgers, urged to shoot. He's passed it up, it's gone to his right-hand side for Bailey. Bailey taking touch. It's Ramsey. Oh, he flubbed his lines. He just did a little bobbler through the penalty area. He didn't get hold of it at all. Villa will come again. Cash has pulled up lame for Villa, which is a problem. Play goes on. It's laid back towards Bakada. Cash has got his arm up and he's indicating that he's not able to continue. I don't know whether it's his hamstring that's gone there or maybe a groin problem, but Cash has gone down. Villa have stopped play so that he can receive treatment.
Yeah, that's a real blow because Matty Cash so far tonight has been really energetic. He always is. He's that sort of player. He'll always fly forward sometimes when he doesn't even need to. He's just so honest in that respect. But unfortunately, he's gone down and he's immediately held his hand in the air and signalled to the bench that I'm no good, something's gone, I'm going to have to come off. So, of course, they've got Nedeljkovic, they've got people like that could go right back. Of course, they've got Bakada, who could even go out there and play in a full-back position, and then John McGinn potentially to come on in the middle of the park. In this situation, Villa do have some sensible options here, but that's a real blow.
Now, this game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Deadlock broken in Eindhoven. Adam Bridge.
Liverpool 1. Cody Gakpo with his third Champions League goal of the season. The man who made 159 appearances for PSV from the penalty spot after a foul on Chiesa by Veerman after a terrible pass inside his own box by Mauro Jr. So it's Gakpo from the penalty spot. PSV 0, Liverpool 1.
So Liverpool, as things stand, would win the group by 5 points, which is an extraordinary achievement. Second place Barcelona being held 0-0 at the moment by Atalanta. Inter, Atletico, Arsenal, Villa, Atalanta and Dortmund are the other sides who at the moment would have a top 8 finish. Then it would be Bayern, Milan, Leverkusen, Feyenoord, Lille, Brest, Real Madrid and PSG seeded in the playoffs. Benfica, Monaco, Juventus, Celtic, Bruges, PSV, Dinamo Zagreb and Sporting unseeded in the playoffs. Stuttgart, Manchester City, Bologna and Shakhtar, who have been knocked out tonight. As things stand, another goal in the Arsenal game in Spain. Alex Crook.
And against the run of play, it's Girona 1, Arsenal 0. Arnaut Danjuma, once of Bournemouth and Everton, is the man who's broken the deadlock, but it's a nightmare for Neto, the Arsenal goalkeeper, on his debut. He has come a million miles off his goal line as the ball is played through by 1P, the captain. Danjuma lifts it over Neto and into the empty net. Girona 1, Arsenal 0.
So Arsenal losing by a goal to 0. Villa 2 up here, but Matty Cash's night is over. He is making his way off the field under his own steam, but clearly in a fair bit of pain as he leaves the field. And it's John McGinn that's going to come on to replace him. What a special night for him. The grandson of the former Celtic chairman Jack McGinn, big Celtic fan growing up. He's played against them in the past for the likes of Hibs and St Mirren. He's got a couple of goals against Celtic, but he's back on against his boyhood club now.
Yeah, and he's gone into the middle of the park alongside Yuri Tielemans. Bakada has gone into that right-back position, which he has played there many times before. So in lots of ways, the shape for Villa now probably even better.
Now Lucadinha making a run down the left-hand side. I thought he might have gone a little bit too early, but the flag stayed down from the French officials. Ramsey back for Tielemans. Now towards Kamara. And Kamara just works the ball for Aston Villa towards Yuri Tielemans in the midfield. A couple of quick goals for Doncaster, 2 in a minute at Barrow in League 2. Barrow 0, Donny 2, Aluwu and Molyneux the goals there. Bakada putting the pressure on. He's had a very solid night so far, and he's able to get it away from Greg Taylor. And Aston Villa have a throw.
Also, I think Celtic in the middle of the park need to pick it up. Callum McGregor's hardly had a kick. Engels, not an awful lot from him. Hatate, once or twice. Another sloppy ball from Conte.
Unai Emery jumping up and down on the edge of his technical area in frustration, and then relieved as Yang will restore possession straight back to Aston Villa with a tame side foot up the left-hand side of the penalty area that nobody was there to attack. Brest 0, Real Madrid 1, with Rodrigo scoring. But Bayer Leverkusen leads Sparta Prague by a goal to nil. Florian Wirtz with his 15th of the season for Xabi Alonso's man. That is significant, because that's a result that Villa don't want. So Villa now down to 7th in the live table. Remember, they've got to win this, but they do need the 4 sides that started above them, one of them to fail to win. Here's Bailey, here's Watkins, past Schmeichel, and cleared off the line by Johnston. Just didn't put his foot through it, Ollie Watkins.
Put your foot through it and make sure of the game. That's such an unbelievable chance. Ollie Watkins got a grin on his face, let me tell you. Nothing to smile about. He's got an unbelievable chance there, set up brilliantly by Ramsey and Bailey. Put it in. He's tried to dink it over the top of Schmeichel, and it had nowhere near enough on it.
That's completely unmarked on the right-hand side of the penalty area. The Celtic defence unpicked easily again. And he had all the time in the world, but he just didn't put his foot through it at all, and it just sort of trundled back towards the goal line, and that allowed Johnston to come back and hook it away with his left foot.
Big chance, huge chance. Again, brilliantly carved out. Lovely run from Jacob Ramsey from the middle of the park, sprinting forward beyond Johnston. They couldn't catch him, and then they had a man over, and it was Ollie Watkins, and he should have made the most of that.
Liam Scales has got the ball at the back for Celtic and will drive it forward left-footed. Constance going to chase after it, and will be able to bring it down, and he'll lay it back to his goalkeeper. So the situation for Villa at the moment, everything is looking fine for them. They're 2-0 up after those 2 early goals. They need one of the 4 sides who started the night immediately above them not to win, and Milan are losing in Croatia against Dinamo Zagreb by a goal to nil. Bayer Leverkusen are winning, Atletico Madrid are winning, Atalanta are being held in Barcelona at the moment. So Villa are 7th. There's Engels on the right-hand side of the box. Johnston makes a run on the overlap for him. He's pulled it back instead towards McGregor. McGregor is making his 499th Celtic appearance tonight. Back from him to Austin Trusty, the American. Laying it back towards McGregor, and Scales now can take it on. Villa should be out of sight, really. Although there have been chances at the other end too. Tate with the worst of the misses as far as Celtic are concerned, but Watkins missing a glorious opportunity. Ramsey's hit the post, and they've scored 2. Villa have been in complete control. It's been one-way traffic for the vast majority of the 35 minutes that we've seen so far. 2-0 to Villa.
Yeah, it has, yeah. Enjoyed it. It's been a good game. Villa again started really bright, got off to an absolute flyer, and have consolidated that by keeping the ball nicely. As I mentioned earlier, what they like to do, it's the way Villa play under Unai Emery. They like to draw teams onto them and then try and play through, then knowing that they've got Rodgers and Ramsey in particular, 2 absolute flyers in those midfield positions. So that's very much the game plan. And for Celtic, it's about trying to take advantage of a good situation that comes their way. They've had some good situations without really testing Emi Martinez. That's what's got to be in store for them next.
No, the ball's been given away again. McGregor on the right-hand side for Celtic. Let's just work back through the midfield for Scales. PSV have equalised at home to Liverpool. That one is 1-1. We'll bring you details of the goal very shortly. Celtic getting it forward here. It's an excellent run forward by Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's flicked in. Celtic have one back. Fired in from the left-hand side. Just took a touch on the way through. And deflected in by, I think, off McGinn to start with, and then put in by Trusty. Might have got the last touch. But Celtic are back in the game. And Aston Villa's nerves just jangling a little. Ollie Watkins will think back to that miss now and wondering just how significant it could prove to be. Ball played down the Celtic left-hand side. There's plenty of time for Taylor to get it in as he just fired it across the edge of the 6-yard box. Took a touch off McGinn. And then he's volleyed right foot. Is it Eder that's got the touch to get it over the line? It is. And it's 2-1.
Yeah, he reacts really well there, Adam Eder. Good play from Celtic. Greg Taylor did really well down the left-back position. But actually, as the ball come across the box, Kummer is just about to clear it. John McGinn sliding back towards his own goal. Gets a touch on it. Deflects it across the 6-yard box into the path of Eder. Really acrobatically and very cleverly steers it beyond Emi Martinez. And Celtic are right back in the game. And as you rightly mentioned, Jim, a couple of minutes ago, Ollie Watkins should be putting this game out of sight. And now Celtic are right back in the tie.
And just as that Adam Eder goal was going in, Atalanta took the lead away to Barcelona through Davide Zappacosta. So it's Barcelona 0, Atalanta 1. So Villa are now down to 8th. They need to finish in the top 8. They are down to 8th. Still fulfilling their half of the bargain at the moment. But it's only the fact that Milan are losing in Zagreb away to Dinamo that is keeping Villa in the top 8 right now. It is getting very nervy.
Yeah, it certainly is. But the guys out there on the pitch, listen, they just keep playing. They just keep playing the game. And they'll let others tell them exactly what's happening later on in the second half. But Celtic, really good goal from their point of view. And they're right back in the game now.
Atata. Celtic have only lost twice since March the 3rd last year. 2 defeats in 47 games in all competitions. 2-1 here. Another ball across the edge of the 6-yard box. And Eder has scored again. He's fired it into the roof of the net. And he has now got 2 in 2 minutes. And just when it looked as though this was going to be a complete formality for Aston Villa, Celtic have unpicked them twice in quick succession. And now Villa are out of the top 8 with work to do. It's Villa 2, Celtic 2.
Incredible. Literally, no sooner have Villa kicked off, having conceded the first, the Celtic have got the ball back and prompted nicely by McGregor. All of a sudden they get themselves a man over once more. Just wait to see. No, Johnston, was offside, but most certainly Hatate wasn't. The ball ends up coming across the 6-yard box, and Adam Eder is there at the far post this time, and he knocks it right into the roof of the net. And from nowhere, Celtic are right back in it, 2-2.
Well, he'd gone 14 games without a goal, Eder, since netting against Ross County back in November. He's now up to double figures for the season. 2 Rodgers goals in 2 minutes, and then half an hour later 2 Eder goals in 2 minutes, tying it up. So it's Villa 2, Celtic 2. One piece of good news as far as Villa are concerned is that Zappacosta goal for Atalanta was disallowed after an extensive VAR check for an offside. So that is still 0-0 between Barcelona and Atalanta. So let's get news of goals elsewhere. Starting in Spain, Alex Crook.
It's now Girona 1, Arsenal 1. Calm as you like. Jorginho from the penalty spot, side-footing the ball into the bottom left corner. That after Thomas Partey had been bundled over. Arsenal up to 5th as it stands. It's Girona 1, Arsenal 1.
And 2 goals in Eindhoven for Adam Bridge.
Indeed, PSV 1, Liverpool 2. PSV's equaliser coming 10 minutes before half-time. Brilliant goal as well for Johan Bakayoko, the young Belgian. He sat Kwanzaa and Robertson down on their backsides with a lovely drop of the shoulder and a smart finish. But Liverpool have got back in front. Chiesa's shot was saved, and then Harvey Elliott's there to put the rebound past Benitez. PSV 1, Liverpool 2.
Lille lead 5 Feyenoord by 2-1, and as things stand, that has put them into the top 8. Villa down in 13th now in the live table, but if they can retake the lead, they will go back into the top 8 as things stand right now.
Yeah, well, there's going to chop and change a lot, this table, isn't it, throughout the night. But after such a positive start, Celtic, to their credit, have picked themselves up and scored 2 real quick-fire goals. The Villa 2 came back-to-back. Well, Celtic absolutely exactly the same.
Now Scales has done McGinn. It's not a red card offence, I'm sure, but the Irishman just left his foot in a little bit late. Just went to try and get there. Maybe McGinn, in getting there first, has kicked through into the bottom of Scales' boot. I apologise to her. I said he'd done it. He hasn't. He hasn't, having seen the replay. There's a free kick and nothing more. So free kick going to be taken by Villa. 3.5 minutes to go to half-time. Villa 2, Celtic 2. Milan down to 10 men in that game away to Dinamo Zagreb, in which they're losing. Yunus Musa has been sent off. Manchester City still 0-0 and going out as things stand. Kamara heading the ball inside the penalty area, taking a touch. Konsa was in there, and Ida with another good contribution, this time inside his own 6-yard box, is able to sweep it away and out of play for a throw that will be taken over on the Aston Villa right hand side. 2-2, another goal in the Arsenal game. Alex Crook.
Girona 1, Arsenal 2, the comeback complete for the Gunners 3 minutes before half-time. It started with Martin Ødegaard on the edge of the penalty area, Leandro Trossard picking out Ethan Nwaneri, and this is a really fine finish, left-footed from around about 19 yards out into the bottom corner. It is Girona 1, Arsenal 2.
So Arsenal leading by 2-1. Villa have blown a 2-0 lead. And McGregor has given them a free kick, though, which will be taken about 5 yards inside Celtic territory.
Yeah, he just called Bagada there on the top of his foot, Callum McGregor, making a challenge. But, and again, this is a little bit typical of Villa recently, making life particularly difficult for themselves. Starting the game really well, were managing the game very well, and then have switched off and got punished twice, and Adam Ida in the right place at the right time each time to apply that finishing touch.
Against the Aston Villa backline that hadn't conceded a goal here at Villa Park in this European run before tonight. And a 100% record in the cup competitions this season in matches in which they scored first. And as things stand right now, Celtic fancying their chances of being one of the seeded teams. If they could get their noses in front here, that would be enough for a top 16 finish for them. Liverpool currently top, Arsenal 3rd, Villa 13th, Celtic 18th, Manchester City 26th. Sturm Graz 1, Leipzig 0 is the least important goal that we've told you about in the Champions League so far tonight. They're both already out. Konsa has got possession for Villa. You listen to Villa against Celtic in the Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van. Rodgers bring it forward. He's fouled. Referee says play on. Tielemans able to take a touch. Ramsey loses out. Goal at the Etihad for Mickey Gray.
Well, this is not going to plan. Manchester City 0, Club Bruges 1. Onyedika with the goal. Good play from Jukla down the left-hand side. He gets away from Nunes. His left foot cross finds Onyedika at the far post. First time with his right foot. Fires it into the back of the net. My goodness, what a scoreline. Manchester City 0, Club Bruges 1.
It's a match they have to win, and they're trailing by 1-0 and going out of Europe. As things stand right now, it is live for you over on Talksport 2. If you can tear your ears away from this, if you've got the Talksport app, it's easy to swipe left, swipe right, and we'll keep you abreast of everything that is going on in both games. Another goal in Eindhoven for Adam Bridge.
Yeah, PSV 2, Liverpool 2, Saibari with the goal. Andy Robertson just remonstrating with the referee Tobias Stieler. feeling that there was a foul involved. It'll obviously be checked by VAR. There's some fury from Liverpool and Ramesh Schlott as well, but it's Saibari that's put PSV level on the stroke of half-time, and it's PSV 2, Liverpool 2.
2-2 there, 2-2 here. 3 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. Dortmund leading Shakhtar by 2 goals to nil. Guirassy, who's been in excellent form recently, has got them both. He's up to 14 for the season. Martinez out towards Kamara. Will play out of the penalty area and roll it into the feet of Jacob Ramsey. A third for Atletico Madrid away to Salzburg. Their top 8 finish is all but guaranteed. Kamara getting it forward. Digne. Trusty comes across and covered the ground quickly enough to be able to knock it out of play for a throw that'll be taken on the Aston Villa left, but Digne is offside anyway, and it's a free kick that'll be taken by Kasper Schmeichel. I'll tell you what, breakfast is going to be a good listen tomorrow. Gabby Agbonlahor and Alan Brazil. Celtic against Aston Villa tomorrow morning as well here on Talksport. Wonder what they'll be talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Look, there's been so much happening in this first 45 minutes. It's been a really interesting game, it has. A mile away, Celtic have got themselves back into it. That first goal was the all-important one. Villa should have been 3 up at that point. And I'll tell you, Ollie Watkins, I'm sure he'll be reminded by 1 or 2 of his teammates at half-time. Do it right. When you get a chance like that, put it away and do it properly. As I said, tried to dink it over the top of Schmeichel. Didn't go in, and within seconds, Celtic are back at 2-2.
Talking to breakfast tomorrow, incidentally, Martin O'Neill with a foot in both of these camps, also amongst the guests. There'll be a great listen tomorrow, as always, with the boys from 6 on TalkSport Breakfast. And tomorrow night, more European action, including here on TalkSport, a Spurs match at home to Elfsborg as they try and get themselves into the top 8 and avoid the playoffs. At the moment, Aston Villa and Celtic will both be in the playoffs because this one is 2-2 after Villa were 2 up inside 4.5 minutes. Ball play forward towards Watkins. Scales gets it away. Kamara's got it inside the centre circle. Play forward by him to McGinn and back again. And now Tielemans can put his foot on it. He's just trying to chip a straight one over the top. Watkins chasing after it. This is right at the end of first half stoppage time. Watkins getting towards the byline. He's just kept the ball in. Works it back from the corner flag. And sliding in Engels puts it out of play for a Villa throw. Still time to take it. Digne to Tielemans. Tielemans working it forward, but Watkins didn't make the run he was anticipating, and it's cleared by Trusty towards halfway for Kamara. He works it back on a night that Manchester City, as things stand right now, are heading out of Europe, as Aston Villa aren't going to be booking their place in the playoffs. But still 45 minutes to go. Rodgers, has he won a corner right at the end of the half? Yes, he has. And by the time it's taken, the 3 minutes will have elapsed. Tielemans sprinting over to make sure that there is time to take it. Applauds the Villa fans. Spots the ball down. And this is the last action of a pulsating, extraordinary first 45 minutes here. Tielemans with the ball on the corner quadrant. He's got Digne making his way forward to offer himself the short one. It is taken short. Back for Digne. Clipped in by him. Coming to meet it was Ramsey. Left-footed shot from Konsa. Out of play for a goal kick that there surely won't be time to take. And it's going to end 2-2 at half-time.
Incredible 45 minutes. Ezri Konsa there, pretty much the last kick. We're seeing Unai Emery's actually already walking past us, walking down, ready to go down the tunnel before the half has actually finished. He's seen enough, he's got his thoughts, he's all ready to give his team everything they need to get going again in the second half.
And he will be absolutely furious that this hasn't been put to bed. Villa 2 up inside 4.5 minutes with Morgan Rodgers. They then had another shot come back off the post from Ramsey. Schmeichel with a little bit of luck on that occasion. Ollie Watkins had the chance to make it safe, missed it. Johnston cleared off the line. Ida went down the other end and scored twice. Cash has gone off injured. We've had it all apart from a red card in the opening 45 minutes. Half-time, Villa 2, Celtic 2, and that's not enough for Villa.
No, 13th as things stand right now. But as you've been saying in commentary, Andy Townsend, this table is going to change a lot between now and full time. I'll just let everybody know that as it stands, Man City are going out. They're a goal down here at the Etihad. Mickey Gray will tell us all about it in just a second. Liverpool are going to win the group as things stand. They're 2-2. Arsenal have come from behind. They lead. We'll get the rundown on all of those very shortly. But for Aston Villa, 2-0 up cruising,
Yeah.
and they're in the top 8, and they've let it slide. That Ollie Watkins miss, and he was smiling after it as well.
Yeah.
What's going on inside his head, Andy?
Well, look, I mean, people will obviously assume, and they might put 2 and 2 together with what's been going on today, whether that's affected him. That's not the case. That's just a glorious situation, and you don't mind. No one minds when your striker misses a chance, but do it right. Try and finish it properly. He's tried to clip it over the top of Schmeichel, and he hasn't done it very well. And in the end, it's wasted a massive chance to go 3-0, to go 3 up, and I don't believe there would have been any way back for Celtic after that. Villa was so in control, and then within seconds of that miss, Celtic, to their credit, went down the other end, stitched a couple of nice passes together. Adam Ida reacted nicely and popped one in the net, and then literally right from the kickoff they got the ball back and got their second. So we're all level here. As Jim just said, everything to play for. That table changing literally within seconds, as it will do throughout the second half. What a night we got in store.
I believe PSV have gone back in front against Liverpool. We'll be there shortly, but very quickly, Andy, Celtic, credit to them, because
Yes.
they could have been on the floor. Adam Ida's got them level.
Yeah, look, very much. Look, they were second best comfortably for 20-25 minutes here. Villa was so on top, looked a yard sharper, a yard quicker in the decisive actions and decisive moments, but it always counts, Aid. In Champions League football, you get a moment, you got to take it. To their credit, Celtic have done that, and they're right back in it.
They are watts of first half, that is. Villa 2, Celtic 2. And we knew that Celtic were always going to be in the playoffs. Aston Villa will be in the playoffs with them as things stand at half-time. Second half to come, live on Talksport. Villa 2, Celtic 2. It's all going wrong here at the Etihad for Manchester City. Rounding up the first 45, Mickey Gray.
Where it is Manchester City 0, Club Brugge 1. A Rafael Onyedika goal just on the stroke of half-time. Club Brugge win the ball back on their own 18-yard box after Ilkay Gundogan gives the ball away. Van Kinnan plays the ball down to the left-hand side, and when they get the ball up, Jukla just gets away from Mateus Nunes. He looks up, he puts the ball into the air. I have to say it's a brilliant finish from Onyedika, Rafael Onyedika, on the stroke of half-time. But City have just been so poor. No shot on target in the first half. They look leggy, they look tired, and every time that Club Brugge break, they look a real threat. But Man City need to start asking a lot more questions. They've got a monumental 45 minutes coming up in the second half. They've had no shots on target, but I will be surprised and amazed if I don't see Savinho come out for this second half, Adrian. They've been really poor, Man City. Man City 0, Club Brugge 1.
A couple of things. Kevin De Bruyne, I think, has been appalling in that first half. I've never, ever, I don't think ever said that about him, but he's not the only one. And tell me, Mickey Gray, you were a fullback that played international football. Mateus Nunes is never going to be a fullback. He's completely to blame. Yet he made the mistake he made last week in Paris. He's done it again tonight, and it's led to another goal.
Problem is, Adrian, he's been asked to play in a position that he's not comfortable with because of the injuries that Pep Guardiola's got. But let's not forget, Rico Lewis is on the bench this evening, who should be playing today. He's went in to try and win the ball back off Jukla. He's got it completely wrong. He gets in behind him. It makes it simple for him to get his head up for Onyedika just to finish it. I have to say, what a finish, by the way. He gave Edison no chance, but it's all they deserved. City have not come up with the answers to break down Club Brugge, and when Club Brugge have had the opportunity to break forward, they've done it with pace. The two wide players have been really good. Zolis on the left-hand side, Tileby on the right-hand side, and they're doing what they need to do. They've put up a wall, they're making City, making it hard for them to break them down, wait for their opportunities. But I've got to say, this is not down to them. This is down to Manchester City and how poor they've been. I don't think I've seen them as bad as that, Adrian, for 45 minutes.
Basically, the pressure's been on and they've not responded. These City players who've been there and done it. They've won titles. They've won the Champions League. They can't even get out the group stage as things stand. They've got 45 minutes to save their European skins, Manchester City. I mean, they're a goal down. They've got to score 2 and not concede in the second half. Otherwise, Pep Guardiola and Man City are out of Europe. Half-time, City 0, Club Brugge 1. Half-time for Arsenal as well. Decent first 45 for them, Alex Crook.
Yeah, Girona 1, Arsenal 2. They had to come from behind the Gunners. Arnaut Danjuma took advantage of Neto on his Arsenal debut, coming miles off his line. He coolly lifted his shot over the stranded goalkeeper to put Girona in front in the 28th minute, but that lead lasted just 10 minutes. Jorginho converting calmly from the penalty spot after Thomas Partey had been sent tumbling, and 4 minutes later a sensational goal from the teenager Ethan Nwaneri. He picked up the ball right corner of the box and he's curled it left-footed into the bottom corner to become the youngest English goal scorer in Arsenal's Champions League history and the second youngest English goal scorer in the competition behind Jude Bellingham. My word, this boy is a talent. Girona 1, Arsenal 2.
Well, Arsenal third as things stand. Liverpool still top, but not going their way in the Netherlands. Adam Bridge.
Yeah, PSV 3, Liverpool 2. PSV getting in front for the first time on the stroke of half-time. Defending optional in Eindhoven tonight. Chiesa won a penalty for Liverpool to set them on their way. It was after Veerman fouled him after a dreadful pass from Mauro Jr. inside the penalty area. Gakpo converted against his former club, of course. Bakayoko then pulled PSV level. It was Veerman's long ball knocked forward. Pepe chesting down at the edge of the box. And then Bakayoko, lovely little feint. He sent Kwanzaa and Robertson the wrong way before a lovely finish past Kelleher. Liverpool were back in front soon after, though. Chiesa again, he's been at the heart of most good things to Arne Slot's side. His shot was well saved by Benitez in the PSV goal, but Harvey Elliott was there to pop home the rebound and make it 2-1. But again, they got themselves in front, PSV, much to the fury, or got themselves level, should I say, much to the fury of Andy Robertson and Liverpool. They felt Endo was fouled in the build-up to the goal before Saibari eventually putting it into the roof of Kelleher's net. And then in stoppage time at the end of the first half, that man again, Saibari, on that left-hand side, he did incredibly well to find Mauro Jr. His cross-come shot, sliding in at the near post, was Ricardo Pepi, the Texan, and also Andy Robertson. One of them got a touch to poke it beyond Kelleher. Cracking first half, 5 goals. Remember, it's not important for either of these two teams, but they're giving it a real go. Half-time, PSV 3, Liverpool 2.
And what else has happened in the Champions League in the first half tonight, Toby Gillies?
Adrian, this is great fun, but mental. What are we pretty sure of? Well, Inter are going to qualify for the top 8. 2 up against Monaco through a Lautaro Martinez brace. The French are also down to 10 thanks to an early red for Christian Mawisa. Atleti, they're flying at Salzburg. Antoine Griezmann's brace, the first of which was after a sensational Giuliano Simeone bit of work, launching it over the keeper and then rolling it square for the Frenchman to tap home. And it was Simeone that had opened the scoring too. That's 3-0. They're going to be sure of the top 8. In Croatia, it's a really good story. Dinamo Zagreb might profit from Man City's score and the fact that PSG are winning at Stuttgart. They're up against Milan thanks to a Martin Bacciarina goal, taking advantage of a horrible mix-up at the back for the Italians, but also Milan, who may actually need to win tonight to get a top 8 spot, despite starting up in 5th at the start of the night. They're down to 10. Yunus Musa sent off for 2 bookables. That PSG game, they're getting a playoff place surely now. Their goals in southern Germany from Barkola's header and then an Ousmane Dembele brace. Xabi Alonso's Leverkusen, they're 1-0 up against Sparta Prague. Florian Wirtz finishing off a typical Jeremy Frimpong tear up down the right and cut back. And Lille, they're also profiting from Aston Villa's collapse, leading Feyenoord 2-1, and they could end up in the top 8 as well. Elsewhere, Real Madrid, they knew they had to win to have a chance of top 8. They're 1 up against Brest thanks to a brilliant Rodrigo goal. Dortmund 2 up on Shakhtar. Same story for them as Real at the start of the night. Seru Girassi with a brace. Bayern 1-0 up on Slovan Bratislava. They need a win, but all sorts of other results to go their way. Thomas Muller's goal has given them the lead. And then right back up at the top as well, Atalanta, we were worried about them at the start of the night. They are still squeezing into the top 8. They looked at one stage pretty comfortable at the Camp Nou, but Zappa Costa's goal was ruled out after a very lengthy VAR for offside. They weren't quite sure who it had come off last. They decided that it was an assist, and so Zappa Costa offside. That one at the break, Adrian. Barcelona 0, Atalanta 0.
Toby, thanks very much. You're listening to the Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches, all the vehicles your business needs.
Kick off on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
That was the travel. Now the weather. Chris.
Thanks, Sarah. A chance of rain today with low pressure bringing some cloudy patches and some showery spells later in the day.
If an Audi's on your mind, now's the time.
With £750 off a new Audi ordered by the 28th of February and delivered by the 30th of June. Start your search at audi.co.uk or visit your local Audi centre.
In the southeast, you'll see sunny spells well into the Audi noon. Afternoon.
Audi. Vorsprung durch Technik. T's and C's apply. £750 discount applied on purchase. Retail customers only.
Reignites in a huge clash at the Emirates, while Tottenham head across London to take on Brentford. And the EFL Championship heats up with a Lancashire derby. Blackburn v Preston, and struggling Plymouth go toe-to-toe with West Brom. Plus, the best in the world tee it up at Pebble Beach as the PGA Tour continues. The Sky Sports Big Weekend, available with no contract on now. 18 plus, UK only, broadband 2.5 megabytes per second required.
Check your retirement savings are on track with PensionBee's easy-to-use app. Because when your pension is in a good place, you're in a good place. When investing, your capital is at risk.
Good dinner party? Fun, but you definitely blew our budget. Budgets are meant to budge. You got everyone a gift, but it wasn't anyone's birthday. Says the person who gave a coupon as a tip last week. Oh, you bought a chandelier for a one-bedroom flat. At least I didn't sublet the couch. It's extra income. And keep it down, Joe is sleeping.
Studies show our relationship with money is formed from the age of 7. That's why our expert Barclays team is here to help you take control of your money today. Barclays, make money work for you.
Bam, 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 bam. Okay, enough razzmatazz. But it's not every day a new scratch card drops. With the new Set for 5 Years scratch card from the National Lottery, you could win £5 a month, every month, for 5 years. Pick up yours in-store today and get scratching. Search Dream Big, Play Small. Rules, procedures and game-specific rules apply. Players must be 18 or over.
Hear the biggest sports stories first and fast with the Back Page Review on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Listen to Talksport Breakfast every weekday morning from 6 for the latest breaking Back Page news, plus unbeatable reaction, opinion and comment. The Back Page Review on Talksport with Tesco Mobile for Business. Join Tesco Mobile and get business phone bills for up to 40% less than the big mobile networks. Tesco Mobile, every little helps. For applicable terms and verification, see tescomobile.com/business.
Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Rent from the best lineup in the UK. Enterprise has 450 branches with all the vehicles your business needs.
The passion, the pain, and the poetry of the beautiful game.
Overhead kick, brilliant goal!
The Champions League live on Talksport.
Well, second half underway here at the Etihad. John Stones has just missed a glorious chance to equalise. Went wide, should have gone in. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Get money back as a free bet up to £10 if one leg of your Football 5 Plus acca lets you down. Pre-match straight line accas only. Odds are 3-1 or greater. 18 plus gambleaware.org.
It's Villa 2, Celtic 2 coming up on Talksport the second half. Villa are 5-4 on to win. Celtic 4-1. The draw 21-10. On Talksport 2 is the game here. City 0. Club Brugge 1, City 21-20 to win. Bruges 23-10, the draw 12-5. Latest odds there with Ladbrokes 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Odds update on Talksport with Ladbrokes. Supercharge your odds with our Odds Boost button. Selected markets applies to first £50 of stake. Terms apply. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Back to Villa Park shortly, where it's Villa 2, Celtic 2. That game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Quick roundup of all the transfer news towards the end of this window. Here's Alex Crook.
And I'll tell you what, Adrian, my word, is it's starting to get busy, not least for Aston Villa, who you are watching tonight. During that first half, we got confirmation from Saudi Arabia that they've agreed a deal, Aston Villa, to sell John Duran to Al Nassr. The total package, I'm told, is worth €90 million. There's a medical book for Duran in London tomorrow. It looks as if he'll be the man that Al Nassr sign, and not Victor Boniface, who's also agreed a deal, but it does give a little bit of wriggle room. But a medical book, as I say. Ollie Watkins set to stay then at Villa. We know there's been an offer from Arsenal between £50 and £60 million, rejected by Villa, and I was told from a very reliable source early tonight they won't sell both players. So that's the latest we have coming out of Aston Villa.
Alex, thanks very much. Well, here on Talksport, Villa were 2 up, then blew up, all square, both heading for the playoffs as things stand, unless Villa take the lead. It's Villa 2, Celtic 2, second half, live on Talksport with Andy Townsend and Jim Proudfoot.
And there are no further changes. We had one in the first half aid when Matt Cash went off. So Bakada playing it right back for the Villa, having started in midfield. John McGinn now in midfield. There's Martinez in goal. Bakada, Konsa, Kamara and Digne. And then Tielemans alongside McGinn, Bailey, Rogers. Ollie Watkins up front and Jacob Ramsey on the left-hand side. Celtic, Schmeichel in goal, Johnston, Scales, Trusty and Taylor, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, Kuhn, Ida and Yang. 45 minutes to go. I can't possibly be as exciting as the opening 45 minutes, can it? The closer we get to the finishing line, the more jeopardy there will be. 2-2 the scoreline. Not enough for Villa and not enough for Celtic to get themselves seeded in the draw. Both teams need to win. We're back underway. And this result at the moment not good enough for either of them. Bakada laying it back for Konsa. Manchester City still trailing. That's live on Talksport 2. And again, they've got to win or they are out of Europe. Konsa playing it down towards Lamare Bakada. Back in field towards Ezri Konsa again, and he will go back towards Martinez. Villa in their famous claret and blue with white shorts. They're kicking from left to right towards the Holt end, and Celtic in their change kit of all green, working it back to their goalkeeper Schmeichel. It was Trusty that did well to withstand the challenge of Watkins, and then Schmeichel plays out from the back to find Liam Scales. I'm delighted to say Andy Townsend's alongside me.
Yeah, really enjoyed the first 45, Jim. I'm sure there's going to be lots of chopping and changing with this Champions League table this evening between now and by the time we're all done. And again, I think Villa will be looking to start like they did in the first 45, bright on the front foot, keeping possession, creating chances. What they mustn't do is lose focus, lose concentration, back off and give Celtic the room to play, because they've shown on a couple of occasions tonight that given an opportunity they can punish themselves.
So Aston Villa 13th at the moment in the live table. Celtic at 20th. Schmeichel clears, headed down through the midfield by Luca Digne, who's made a good run then off the back of his man over on the far touchline. Got away from Engels. Villa working back towards Tielemans. Tielemans past McGinn intentionally to Lamara Bakada. Bakada to McGinn again. And Villa begin again from the back with Konsa. Worked out towards the Aston Villa right-hand side for the retreating Leon Bailey. And then on the edge of his own penalty area, Konsa picks up possession. 2 minutes gone in the second half here in Birmingham. 2-2 on a dry, mild night. Konsa is slowing things down, waiting for a little bit of pressure to be applied by Hatate. It's gone back towards Emi Martinez, who's only kept 3 clean sheets in his last 20 games now. Villa trying to bring it away from the back. Looked as though they had almost lost it. Tielemans won it back in the nick of time and works it down towards the right-hand side. Played forward by Bakada for Bailey. Good turn by Bailey. Got himself away from Taylor, and then the retreating Yang caught him, took his feet away from him. And it's a free kick to Villa. Another goal at the Etihad for Mickey Gray.
53 on the clock. It's equaliser. Manchester City 1, Club Bruges 1 as Mateusz Kovacic. He picks the ball up in the centre circle, drives at the back four of Club Bruges. He's not closed down. He gets half a yard and just fires it into the corner past Simon Mignolet. Manchester City 1, Club Bruges 1.
Still not enough for City, but that's half the job done. Got to win that game. They've got it back to 1-1. They're still 26th in the table. But they know that if they do win tonight, they're guaranteed to finish in the top 24. Nothing that can happen elsewhere will prevent that. Scales working it back inside his own half of the centre circle to Trusty. Trusty goes to his right-hand side for Johnston. Barcelona lead Atalanta 1-0. Lamine Yamal with that goal. That's great news as far as Villa are concerned, because that's another potential impediment out of the way if Villa can take care of business here. Scales, Celtic themselves, trying to get themselves ahead. They get themselves into the top 16, which will be a magnificent achievement, having finished bottom of their Champions League group in 4 of the last 5 attempts. But they've got defending to do here. Ramsey taking on his man, clipped across the edge of the penalty area. but it's cleared, and Celtic are going to be able to bring it away with Kuhn.
Yeah, good situation that for Leon Bailey. One-on-one with Taylor, got at him, stepped inside on the left foot, couldn't provide the pass like Jacob Ramsey did in those opening moments for Morgan Rogers. Just there, Leon Bailey not quite hitting the target with that delivery.
In terms of the top 8, as things stand at the moment, it's Lille and Dortmund have climbed into the top 8 tonight, and Milan and Atalanta have dropped out of it. The other 6 who began the night in the top 8 are all still there. Barcelona, Liverpool, Arsenal, Inter, Atletico Madrid and Bayer Leverkusen. Villa on the front foot again with Watkins. Watkins running towards the edge of the box. He's in the penalty area now. He hadn't got too much in the way of immediate support, and that allowed McGregor to knock it away from him. Digne wins it back though. Pulled back towards Ramsey. Ramsey towards Tielemans. Back towards McGinn. As Dinamo Zagreb go 2-up against Milan, which is great news as far as Villa are concerned. So Villa in a position now, it's surely, as long as they win, they're going to be okay. Bailey, back towards McGinn. Esri Konsa's got it now inside the centre circle. One back for Shakhtar away to Dortmund. 2-1 there. Kamara controlling the ball in the midfield and now laying it back for Konsa again. 2-2 here.
Yeah, Celtic just shuffling from side to side, just keeping their shape quite sensibly. Villa looking for that little gap to prise open.
Bailey, I think he's got the better of Taylor at the moment. McGinn playing it back in. Rogers across the edge of the 6-yard box.
Shoot.
Well, he pulled it back towards Watkins, and shooting surely would have been a better option.
He's in a great situation there, Morgan Rogers, on a hat-trick. Don't even think about passing it there. Get your head down and thump it.
Celtic will be able to bring it away. If Villa don't win this game, they will look back and rue some clear opportunities. One that hit the post, the Watkins miss when Johnson cleared it off the line, but he should have scored. That one where Rogers should have, at the very least, have tested Kasper Schmeichel. That second Dinamo Zagreb goal has been chalked off by the VAR for a handball, so it's still 1-0. This is 2-2. Not the electrifying start of the second half that we had in the first, where Villa scored twice in 4.5 minutes. McGinn playing his way out from the back through his own penalty area towards Kamara. Now goes out towards Digne again. Kamara controlling the ball 15 yards outside the box. Getting it forward towards Yuri Tielemans. Villa side who've only lost one of the last 7 in all competitions. They've only lost one of the last 16 here, but in the Champions League, after that brilliant start that they made, they've only won 1 out of 4. And that has meant that there is jeopardy going into the second half of the final group game, where really they will feel that there shouldn't have been. Martinez playing it out towards Konsa. Konsa now down to Bakada again, worked up the right-hand touchline. He wasn't given too many favours there by Bailey, who just wanted it to be chipped over the top. And in the end, Aston Villa forced to concede a throw right in front of us, midway inside their own half.
Yeah, overplaying there, Villa. Went back to the goalkeeper, he then rolled it back out to Konsa, went to Bakada, then back to Konsa, back to the goalie. It's got to go forward. Eventually, you've dragged Celtic on top of you, you've dragged them under the ball, then clip it beyond them.
Taylor takes the throw, McGinn heads it straight back out of play. You're listening to Villa against Celtic in the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Yang from the next throw has the ball at his feet. His 50th Celtic appearance tonight. It's a great ball by Taylor down the line. McGregor, didn't keep it in. I thought he did. The Villa fans on this near touchline got it absolutely right, and it will be a throw that will be taken by Villa in their right back position by Bakada. 8 minutes into the second half is still Villa 2, Celtic 2.
Yeah, both coaches having a little laugh and a joke with the fourth official who's separating the two of them right now. They both know that this is high stakes, high pressure football, and which team are going to buckle, which team are going to go and create that chance.
Here come Villa on the front foot with Leon Bailey. Rolls Watkins in, right-hand side of the box. It was an easy one for Trusty to read. He followed him every step of the way, and he clears it out. And it's a throw which will be taken on the Aston Villa right by Bakada as Milan equalise against Dinamo Zagreb, and that puts them back in the top 8. Christian Pulisic with that goal. It's his 12th of the season, Milan's leading scorer. Bakada getting it through the midfield, losing possession. Hatate gets it away. McGregor's giving it away. Rodgers on a hat-trick, curves one towards goal, but not with enough power, and he started it a little bit too far wide of Schmeichel's right-hand post.
Yeah, good play, Jacob Ramsey. A little bit of pressure there. And Callum McGregor just forcing a mistake, and Morgan Rodgers is onto that pretty quickly. Hits it on his left foot, about 20 yards out, but it's rolling across the ground, and Kasper Schmeichel always had it covered.
So to reiterate the situation as far as Villa are concerned, they have to win tonight. They need one of the 4 teams above them at the start of the night not to win, as the ball is played forward and Martinez with great anticipation comes out and gathers. And as things stand at the moment, Atalanta are one of those 4 teams that are losing away to Barcelona. So Villa know it's in their hands. As things stand at the moment, they've got to win this. The other results are going their way. Milan back in the top 8. It's Dortmund that have come out of the top 8 as a result of that Milan equaliser. Ramsey bringing the ball forward. Plays it back for Tielemans. Live on Talksport 2 right now. Man City 1, Bruges 1. They've equalised in the second half. Still need a winner. City going out of Europe as things stand. It's live for you right now over on Talksport 2. Tomorrow night, choice of listening for you as well, as Man United go to Bucharest to take on the club that used to be known as Steaua. And Spurs are at home at Elfsborg here on Talksport. Both of those games kick off at 8 o'clock. It's another night for the spreadsheets to be laid out across commentary boxes, the length and breadth of Europe, trying to work out what the heck is going on. Here's Rodgers bringing it forward. Man on a hat-trick for Villa. Played out towards Tielemans. Tielemans to the right-hand side of the box. Bailey making a good run. Bailey showing it to Taylor and then just taking it back, getting it onto his left foot, flipped in, hit the thigh of the defender, and is volleyed away.
Yeah. Celtic just banking up on the edge of their own 18-yard box at the moment, just trying to weather this little bit of consistent Villa pressure.
Bailey's got it again. Yang coming back to double up in front of Taylor now. Number no Maida tonight because of suspension. Villa have got it with Ramsey on the edge of the D. Just played a little wall pass into Watkins but didn't get the return. And Emery, not for the first time, is standing outside his technical area and is just telling his players to calm down. Don't have to get the game won in the next 5 minutes. We've got a free kick here for a foul on Tielemans, and there's been a massive goal in Manchester. Mickey Gray.
We have the turnaround. It's Manchester City 2, Club Bruges 1. Lovely little give and go with Gvardiol and Savinho down the left-hand side. Gvardiol looks like he's trying to shoot. I think it's going to miss. I think this is going to go down as an own goal for Joel Ordonez. He tried to clear the ball off his line. He's made the ball, parried it into his own net, but the turnaround is complete. And I say so far, Manchester City 2, Club Bruges 1.
So as it stands, that's enough. They would finish 22nd, and that is a goal that would knock Stuttgart out of Europe. They're currently 4 down at home to PSG. So Manchester City have just got to hold on from there. Real Madrid 2 up away to Brest, who themselves have had one disallowed in the second half. Tielemans stands over this free kick for Villa. He's clipped it inside the penalty area. The runners couldn't get there in time. It was too straight a delivery. Celtic knock it away towards halfway, and Tielemans turns on halfway and volleys it back to his goalkeeper, Emi Martinez.
Yeah, it's been all Villa actually since the start of the second half. Celtic yet to really stitch anything significant together. Defending manfully, getting back behind the ball and just trying to frustrate, waiting for that one moment.
That second Real Madrid goal, incidentally, scored by Jude Bellingham, up into double figures for the season again. Brest 0, Real Madrid 2, Lille 3, Feyenoord 1. Lille giving themselves a chance of a top 8 finish, and as things stand right now, there are no more goals. They would sneak in 8th. Villa currently 13th. Up above them, Liverpool 2nd and Arsenal 3rd. Manchester City 22nd. Going to get away with it as things stand at the moment. 2-2 in this one. Kamara just watching the ball come down on his right foot. Miscontrol, but there was no one anywhere near him, and so he's able to get it under control and bring it away and play it forward towards Conte.
Yeah, Celtic struggling to keep the ball at the moment. Just seen Schmeichel knock one up there way beyond Adam Eder. He can do nothing with that. They're just struggling to really get a foothold in this second period.
Villa able to bring it away with Digne, but he ran into trouble. And Celtic get it back. Hatate out of the right-hand side of the penalty area. It's Yang that's coming in towards the near post. Digne and Kamara able to get it away. In fact, Kamara had a fair bit of time inside his own penalty area. Clipped it in towards Rodgers, who took it back so that he could take it on the half volley and beautifully turns to bring McGinn into it. And he will stride forward. Good turn by him. Oh, he's got the better of Engels. Ramsey making his way forward, knocks it square. And this time, Ollie Watkins puts it away. Just like the chance that he missed in the first half. But this time coming onto it, unmarked to the far post with conviction. And on the day that Arsenal have put in a big money bid for him, Ollie Watkins scores for his current employer. They lead 3-2, and that, as it stands, puts them into the top 8 and means they'll be in the last 16 of the Champions League.
That's better. That's how you finish, get your head over the ball and you make sure. Brilliant football from John McGinn. In fact, from Villa all the way from across their back line. Eventually it comes to Jacob Ramsey. They've a clear 2-on-1. Watkins holds his run and then he's just got to make sure he gets decent contact and pings it past Kasper Schmeichel and right in front of the whole team. This time, Ollie Watkins does it right to give him the lead.
It's his first Champions League goal. His 11th of the season, his 81st goal for Villa. And they lead Celtic by 3 goals to 2. And with Atalanta losing and Milan losing, it's enough. Villa 7th right now. Atletico Madrid 4 up away to Salzburg. Celtic, for their part, 21st after that concession. 1 above Manchester City. Ramsey's given the ball away. It's a corner to Celtic, which will be taken over on the far touchline in front of the travelling Glaswegian support. Engels will go across to take it. It's a corner very needlessly conceded. There'll be a lot of fury from Unai Emery if Celtic were to find a way back into it from this.
Yeah, no need for Villa to overplay there. Just got the lead. They've overplayed. They've given Celtic a corner on the far side.
Villa Park, a cauldron of noise. In comes the corner. Martinez has lost it. Coming round the back, Trusty couldn't get the touch. He's then fired a ball right down towards the corner flag again. Villa looking really wobbly there. Another ball in. Well headed away by Watkins. One back by Liam Scales. Ball down towards Trusty. He's offside. And it's a free kick to Aston Villa just on the edge of their own penalty area. But Martinez came a long way out for that and got nowhere near it.
Yeah, he got nowhere near the corner. You're absolutely right, Jim. Having just got the lead, Villa now have got to play sensibly. And playing sensibly isn't continually playing across the edge of your own 18-yard box. That's how they allowed Celtic back into the game in the first half. Get it forward and get it to those guys up there that can really make the difference.
Watkins trying to get the run on Trusty, plays it back for Schmeichel. Schmeichel's ball out is poor. McGinn's won it. Good save from Schmeichel. Ramsey, right-footed volley just wide of the near post by Rodgers, who must have thought that was his chance for a hat-trick. But it's kissed aside, netting on its way through and gone out of play for a goal kick.
Well, this
3-2.
This time it's Celtic's turn to overplay and over-elaborate. Kasper Schmeichel rolls a terrible ball to McGregor. And again, Ollie Watkins, one-on-one. Got to make sure that goes in the back of the net. In this competition, if Villa do want to make a difference at some point, these sort of chances have to go in.
Liverpool 3-2 down away to PSV. They're second. Arsenal 2-1 up away to Girona. They are third. Villa 3-2 up at home to Celtic are 7th. Celtic themselves 21st. Man City leading Bruges by 2-1 at 22nd in the live table. Thumping challenge coming in from Yang on the Celtic left-hand side. Villa win it. Bailey getting it forward there. Watkins challenging Trusty. Penalty. Right in front of the Holt end. Watkins turning. Trusty saying absolutely no chance. And the VAR's Jérôme Brissard will have a look. But the on-field decision from Clement Turpin is a penalty to Villa and a chance to make it 4-2.
Well, Ollie Watkins is taking on Trusty in the box. I tell you what, do you know what? He has a little nibble at it to start with and misses the ball. And then sort of wraps his foot around the ball, by which time there's a little bit of contact with Ollie Watkins. I tell you, it's quite a harsh call. I do think it's quite a harsh call. It's not like it's a blatant penalty where Trusty goes to ground and Watkins immediately goes over an outstretched leg. Austin Trusty has a little fish out of the ball, doesn't get it, but doesn't really get Watkins either. He then takes a bit of the ball and takes the man, eventually going down. The referee points straight to the spot. Huge call, not just on the night, but in the grand scheme of things.
Well, still the VAR is having a look. Kasper Schmeichel is standing by the penalty spot. McGregor has been having an extensive word with the referee. Hasn't been called over to have a look at the monitor. It is going to be a penalty.
Yeah, we don't know yet. I mean, I'm assuming because all the guys now getting to the edge of the box. John McGinn's got the ball in his hands. See, I think on a big call like this, get the ref over. Get him over.
Well, McGinn stood with the ball in his hand and he waited and he waited, and when it was confirmed that the penalty was going to be given, he's walked away and he's handed it to Ollie Watkins. Missed one in the first half, scored one in the second. The Villa fans in front of us can't bear to watch this. And if Watkins scores in front of the Holt again, it's 4-2 to Villa, and that surely will be enough. He makes his way back. Kasper Schmeichel standing dead still on his line, now just bobbing up and down, trying to sow the seed of doubt in Watkins' mind. He runs up, he's kicked it into his trailing foot, and he's looped up over the bar into the hole. What a miss.
Oh, that's a David Beckham one for England. Do you remember?
Yeah.
All them years ago, he slipped as he's about to hit it, and hit it from one foot onto the other foot, and it's gone about 80 foot over the crossbar.
He's addressed it right-footed and he's lost his trailing foot. That has then slid forward as he hasn't planted it correctly. It slid forward in front of the ball as he's kicked it. And he's whacked it off his right foot straight onto his left instep.
Wow.
And his ricochet's just looped away and harmlessly dropped into the Holt end. And it stays 3-2. And it is an indirect free kick to restart the game. Kicking the ball twice, an illegal penalty.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Ollie Watkins is going to need to keep his fingers crossed that Villa get this job done tonight. Because I know he's just scored a goal, but he's missed two absolute sitters. I mean, a penalty, it does happen, but rarely what we've just seen. Very rarely. I think I've only ever seen it once before in all my time playing and watching this game. That's an incredible moment from the spot.
All the times for it to happen. And as it happened, Atalanta equalised at Barcelona with a goal from Ederson. Now that's not a mortal wound for Villa, but if Atalanta were to win that game, then it puts a little bit of pressure on. Milan, though, still trailing by 2-1. Villa only need either Atalanta or Milan to fail to win. Now, they would be in a position that if they were to win this by one of the sides that started just below them in the table, won by 2 or by 3 or 4, then they might go above them on goal difference. That's not happening at the moment. So Villa currently 7th. The ball played long forward towards Watkins, and he's won a corner off Trusty, which is only Villa's second of the night, and Bailey will go across to take it.
Well, it's been that sort of night, Jim, hasn't it, all round? Not only here, everywhere. There's been goals flying in, there's been incident. And I mean, this game really, from the get-go, has hardly given you time to draw breath. Villa now have a corner. Yuri Tielemans has gone out to whip it in with his right foot under the bar.
Now Celtic are going to be bringing Paolo Bernardo on the next break in play. In comes this corner from the left-hand side. Konsa attacking it. It's headed over his own bar by one of the Celtic defenders. Another corner. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. 3-2 to Villa, who've hit the post, missed two glorious chances and a penalty, but still, as things stand at the moment, they're where they want to be. Celtic would be unseeded in the playoffs if it stays this way. They need to turn this around and come from 3-2 down to win it 4-3 to change that scenario. Villa wasting time, taking this corner. Bailey took it, he walked away. Ramsey came across to take it, he walked away. And now it will be Bailey to swing it in. Left-footed, testing the patience of the officials. Good header down, good block. Scales trying to get it away. Konsa with a sliding challenge. Another chance. Schmeichel with an outstanding near-post save. He's able to get it away from Watkins.
Wow. Ezri Konsa does brilliant here, you know. Because initially Yuri Tielemans makes contact with his head. Konsa then wins the tackle on the edge of the, on the penalty spot, and then rolls it to Ollie Watkins on his right foot. He hits it hard and true, it's on target. Nothing wrong with that strike. Kasper Schmeichel makes a great stop with his foot.
So another corner, third in quick succession, in towards the near post. And that's the easiest one to clear. And Celtic will look to try and break quickly. Hatate making his way forward, and an excellent challenge. Stopped him getting too far. And Kamara then, after McGinn's good work, and just guided back. And then it'll be cleared by Martinez. Headed away by the blonde-haired Scales. Double change imminent for Celtic because Palmer's going to be coming on as well. Back it comes from Hatate towards halfway. Hatate to Taylor. Back for Scales inside his own half. It's now Barcelona 2, Atalanta 1. So that's more good news for Villa. Barcelona top of the table, Liverpool in second, Arsenal third as things stand at the moment. McGregor, the heart of the midfield, to his right-hand side for Trusty. Manchester City, remember, leading live over on Talksport 2 by 2-1. And they will survive in Europe, be in a playoff, providing they can hold on there. They can see an equaliser, they'll be going out. Hatate, Yang making an early run for him down the left-hand side. Hatate in the centre of midfield has worked it the other way. This far from over yet, 17 minutes to go. 3-2 to Villa. Hatate from distance, right-footed, good strike! And close. Martinez was at full stretch and hugely relieved to see that one thump back off the hoardings behind the goal. Another goal at the Etihad for Mickey Gray.
Manchester City 3, Club Brugge 1. Savinho with the goal. City had just taken over in the second half. It's a great diagonal ball. Savinho takes it in his path on his chest, right-footed low, fires it into the back of the net. Pep Guardiola smiles for the first time tonight. Man City 3, Club Brugge 1.
Andy, you've just seen a replay of that effort from Hatate. That was mighty close.
That was extremely close. Beautifully struck from Hatate from about 22 yards out, pretty much centre of the pitch. And you're right, Jim. Emi Martinez at full stretch, full tilt, flying to his right, just wide of the post.
Double change made by Celtic. Palmer is on, Paolo Bernardo is on. Engels and Yang are the players that have been replaced. Villa are going to reply with Ian Maatsen about to be introduced. It'll be interesting to see who he comes on for, whether it's just going to be another body at the back. Maatsen, who can play at full back. He can play a little bit further forward, but he is going to come on at full back to replace Lucadinha here.
It's just the pace that I think Unai Emery is concerned about. And now he's got as much pace as he possibly has at his disposal by bringing on Ian Maatsen in that left back position. Lucadinha's done okay tonight. And now it's just about making sure they get over the line and get the job done. Maatsen's recovery pace could be key now.
You're listening to Villa against Celtic in the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van. Maatsen on for Villa, played in the final last year for Borussia Dortmund. Dortmund losing to Real Madrid on that occasion, and neither Dortmund nor Real Madrid, last year's finalists, will be finishing in the top 8 as the table is at the moment. Villa will. They're currently in 7th. Celtic still with plenty of time to try and do something about it. 16 minutes to go. It's a great ball forward. Ida chasing after it. Goal side of Kamara. The angle's tight. It's gone for the near post. And Martinez got something on it just to knock it away. He did have Palmer making good ground in a central position in the penalty area. He went for goal and the hat-trick, and he's got a corner.
What a ball that is. I think it's Nicholas Kuhn. What a brilliant ball outside of his left boot. In behind camera for Adam Ida to really stretch and get on the end of. The angle was extremely tight in the end. He was never going to beat, I don't think, Emi Martinez from that angle, but brilliant counter-attack from Celtic.
Off to Spain in a moment. First of all, Celtic corner, their second of the second half, in towards the near post, and it took a touch from Maatsen and then bobbled off one of his own players back towards Martinez. Might have been Scales that it hit, actually, but it was Maatsen's header that hit him, and Martinez was able to make a very grateful save.
Could have gone anywhere, that. Lovely ball whipped in again from that set piece. It was Liam Scales that went in there after it, and he was unlucky.
There's Morgan Rogers. Sporting have equalised at home to Bologna. Girona had the ball in the net, incidentally, in that game against Arsenal. Stuani's goal ruled out for offside. Lille 4, Feyenoord 1. Jonathan David with that goal. Lille are going to be making it into the top 8. They had a lot of work to do at the start of the night. They had to win. They needed favours. But Milan and Atalanta are both losing. And that means that they and Villa are going to be climbing into the top 8 tonight for when it matters. Unless Celtic can find a way back into this, but Maatsen's done well. He's teeing up Rogers slipping into his left-hand side. Watkins! Side netting only. And many of the Villa fans on this side of the ground thought it was in. Wow. They saw the net ripple, but he's missed, and it's still 3-2.
He's had some unbelievable chances, he has tonight. I mean, I tell you what a 24 hours he's probably had, Ollie Watkins, let's be honest. With everything that was going on before the game, etc., and John Duran, and he wouldn't have known what was happening. And he's had so many chances tonight. He could have had 4.
Now Bailey playing the ball forward, knocked off by Tielemans towards McGinn. If you're just joining us and wondering what we're talking about, bids in for both of Villa's mainline strikers today. Arsenal bidding the region of £60 million for Ollie Watkins, which Villa have turned down, but they were expecting, I think, another Arsenal bid. But a deal's been agreed for John Duran to go to sign for Al Nassr, which is going to be in the region of £73 million and should be rubber stamped tomorrow. So Duran may well have played his last game for Aston Villa. He is on the bench tonight. Whether we're going to see him to say goodbye or not, I don't know.
I'll be very surprised if we do, Jim, just in case he gets hurt. Really surprised. I mean, ordinarily Unai Emery would probably have introduced him by now. We haven't seen him yet.
Here's Ezri Konsa to his right-hand side for Bakada. Alex Crook has been keeping you up to date with everything that's been going on today. Don't forget, Talksport's your home of the transfer window as Crookie and Mr. Deadline Day himself, Jim White, bring you unrivaled coverage. You can watch it on our YouTube channel every Tuesday and Friday. All you got to do, search for Talksport's Transfer Notebook on the podcast section of our app. You get more on the latest transfer rumours on our website as well, talksport.com. But I think there are going to be plenty of significant and intriguing moves between now and 11 o'clock on Monday night, when the window, as is traditional, it has to slam shut. It's the only way it closes. Tielemans goes out to Kamara over on the Aston Villa left. We've got 12 minutes to go. If you're a Villa fan, I bet the clock is ticking down really slowly at the moment. Celtic fans will be going down pretty rapidly. 2 from here for a top 16 finish. Lille 5, Feyenoord 1, Dortmund 3, Shakhtar 1. Sporting equalised at home to Bologna through Konrad Ada, and Doncaster are 3-1 up in the League 2 game at Barrow tonight. Celtic are going to make another change. And what a moment this is for young Daniel Cummings. He's only 18, Scottish under-19 international. He's on not just for his European debut, he's on for his Celtic debut here in the Champions League at Villa Park.
Yeah, good luck to the young man. And how they could do with him just giving them a little bit of a lift for what's left of this game. We've got roughly 12 minutes plus whatever stoppage time Clement Turpin adds at the end of the night. But good luck to Daniel Cummings.
Well, the reaction to this is going to be great tomorrow. Gabby Agbon-Lahore, lifelong Villa fan. Alan Brazil grew up supporting Celtic. On breakfast tomorrow, and joining them, Martin O'Neill, who's got a foot in both camps. That's all on breakfast tomorrow, and the Sports Bar with your reaction tonight on 03717223344. As Schmeichel was given a something or nothing back pass, needed a second touch, got it away to Scales, and Hatate working it through the midfield out to the Celtic right-hand side where Johnston can play it forward. Cummings just found himself in an offside position for a moment. Now the ball is clipped in from that right-hand side by Paolo Bernardo. Villa can knock it away with Maatsen. He's done well to bring it under control and then come inside to find Ramsey. Ramsey drops his shoulder to play in McGinn. McGinn whips it to his right-hand side. Villa have quickly played their way out of trouble here. Then Benfica 2 up away to Juventus. As Villa knock it forward, it's Rodgers. And Schmeichel comes out and makes the save to deny him his hat-trick.
Great ball through. Morgan Rodgers latching onto it. Only Kasper Schmeichel to beat. Could have just clipped that one over him. Could have gone round him. Good goalkeeping in the end. Schmeichel stood big and in that typical Schmeichel fashion that we've seen for so many years, made himself as big as he can, spreading those arms wide and making sure that he gets something in the way of it. But big chance for Morgan Rodgers for his hat-trick.
Barcelona now 2-2 at home to Atalanta. Mario Pasalic, long-time Chelsea man, has got the equaliser there for the Bergamo club. So 2-2, that means that Liverpool, despite the fact that they're 3-2 down at the moment, the way to PSV, will win the group. Barcelona second, Arsenal third. And we're almost in a position where we can work out the likely potential opponents for teams. As soon as we get to full time here, we'll be able to go through that for you. It is a draw that will be made on Friday, but Villa, for instance, well, they'll have to wait. Celtic in the playoffs will know that they will be up against one of two specific opponents. They will know that by the end of tonight. Here's Hatate playing it forward. The Celtic are going to make more changes in a moment. McCowan, I can see, is going to be coming on. And I think Murray will be coming on as well, as the ball is worked down the Celtic right. Paolo Bernardo's offside. And it's a free kick which will be taken by Villa just outside their own penalty area. Bayern Munich 3, Slovan Bratislava 0. Harry Kane scored in that game. It's Kingsley Coman that's got the latest. Here come the latest changes. Hatate will be replaced here by McCowan. That's the first change. Now we're also going to see Dane Murray come on to replace Scales, who was down a few moments ago in need of a little bit of treatment. But he's able to leave the field okay. I think just as a precaution rather than anything else. And Dane Murray, whose last Celtic appearance was back in July 2021, comes on 3.5 years later to get a taste of Champions League football. He's been out on loan at Queen's Park this season, and now he finds himself parachuted into the Champions League side with 7.5 minutes plus stoppage time to go.
Yeah, and Dane Murray right up on the halfway line in behind Ollie Watkins. The ball with Emi Martinez, and as typical of Aston Villa, they're teasing the Celtic shirts onto them, who are pressing really, really hard now. Got to be careful playing under pressure in their own territory now, Villa.
Rodgers knocks it away safely, straight out, and out for a throw which will be taken on the right-hand side by Bakada. Now, about 10-15 minutes or so ago, I said that one thing that could potentially come back to bite Aston Villa was if one of the sides that started the day beneath them racked up a really big win. Lille are 6-1 up against Feyenoord, and that means that Villa have slipped down to 8th. So if they were to concede, or if Atalanta were to go and score again, if Barcelona to go 3-2 up, Villa would fall out of the top 8. So it's getting a little bit nervous again through no fault of Villa's own.
No, see, there's no way the players will know about any of that, Jim. No way. They'll just be looking over at the bench. They'll be looking at the coach, who's reasonably calm. Everybody's sat down on the bench. If things get really, really tricky for Aston Villa tonight, then I'm sure everybody will be standing up and urging them forward to score again.
So Lille 6-1 up at home to Feyenoord, and that means that they've gone above Aston Villa on goal difference in the table. Villa know the bottom line is they've got to win and then just see if business takes care of itself elsewhere. But they have to win this game. They are winning it at the moment by 3-2.
Does another goal for Villa make that much difference, Jim, or not?
Another goal means that they will have the same goal difference as Lille, but they've scored fewer. So it's just the fact that Lille have scored 3 in the last 15 minutes or so that has caused this potential problem for them.
Yeah.
Another one might make a difference if Lille were then to go and concede one.
So I'm just looking at Ezri Konsa here. He's running backwards towards his own goal with the ball at his feet, back to the goalkeeper, who gives it to Camara. Everyone taking a collective breather whilst these guys at the back just keep the ball. Villa in no hurry now to serve it forward too quickly.
5 minutes to go. Martinez getting it forward. Villa leading by 3-2. Watkins chasing after this. Heads it on. He's looking for Bailey. It's clear. Villa would go out on goal difference, bearing in mind that they've missed a penalty and a stack of chances. They would not be happy. I say go out of the top 8. And then clearly they're not going out. But they don't want, with the fixture congestion at the moment, the injury problems they've got, they don't want those 2 extra games, irrespective of the fact that that's another chance for them to be knocked out of Europe. You simply don't want the games.
No, you don't. Nobody does.
Except for Manchester City, they do want them.
Yeah.
Because the alternative is elimination. At the moment, they're getting them. They're going to be okay. They're winning by 3-1, so they've got away with it, having been a goal down at half-time, better in the second half. They're going to get into the playoffs. Celtic knew that they were in the playoffs. Villa want to avoid them and finish in the top 8. They really don't need Atalanta to score at Barcelona. That's what it's coming down to right now. Ball goes out towards the Celtic right-hand side. They certainly don't need Celtic to score. John McGinn got the ball at his feet. Kamara threw himself into the challenge. He actually got caught. And it's a free kick that'll be taken for the foul by Paulo Bernardo. Villa about 10 yards outside their box, calming things right down. 3.5 minutes to go here on Talksport. It's Villa 3, Celtic 2. It's been every bit as good as we hoped and more.
Yeah, it's been a great game. It really has. It's been so exciting to watch because there's been some great football from both teams at times, and it's been littered with some sloppy play and some mistakes which have just contributed to what's been an enthralling night to watch. It really has. And what with everything else that's been going on all around, I mean, City, when I heard they were 1 down, I literally couldn't believe what I was hearing. It sounds like, thankfully now, they've managed to get that one sorted out and turn it round.
Yep, they have won and will be there in a moment. They're through. They are in the playoffs, Manchester City, and destined to finish 22nd. Villa work it back for Emi Martinez, takes a touch and will clear it right footing. Let's get full-time details from Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it's finished here. Manchester City 3, Club Brugge 1. City are going through to the knockout stages. They had to wait until the second half to get the job done. They got 3 goals in that half. They'll be happy. Big smiles on their faces at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 3, Club Brugge 1.
So City 3-1 winners there. It's a free kick to Celtic that they're looking to take from the wrong half of the field. That was what the big furore was that you could hear. City, for their part, 22nd as things stand at the moment, so they would play either the team that finishes 11th or 12th. Guess who that is? Bayern Munich or Real Madrid.
Wow.
So that's, as it stands at the moment,
incredible
what Manchester City would get. Bayern Munich or Real Madrid in the playoffs. I think this new format of Champions League football has been sensational. I hate what we've had to give up for it, and how that has affected teams down the footballing pyramid. Just such a shame that we couldn't keep the status quo and bring this new format in, but this has been magnificent. Ball played for, coming out, Martinez claims it. We've got 90 seconds to go. Still Villa 3, Celtic 2. And of great significance now, it's still Barcelona 2, Atalanta 2. Remember, if Atalanta score there, Villa fall out of the top 8. Salzburg have one back at home to Atletico Madrid. That's just a consolation. Martinez clears. We're in the 90th minute. It's a poor ball forward. Rodgers made a tire attempt to win it. Paulo Bernardo plays it forward. And then McCowan tried to flick it past Kamara and knocked it straight into him. And now Villa can break quickly with Rodgers. And get it out towards the right-hand side for Bailey. Bailey travelling inside the penalty area. Watkins made a run across the face of Murray, but he couldn't get there in time to be able to turn it in. And it's gone out of play for a throw. And again, Emery just wants his side to calm things down.
Yeah, it's very difficult to try and calm things down because there's so much space out on the pitch now that inevitably you think, well, I might as well go forward with it. I might as well see if we can go and score again. That's exactly what Villa keep doing. They've had so many chances, so many great situations really tonight.
Throw to be taken by Aston Villa. Inside the penalty area. Headed away by Murray. And then deliberately missed by Maatsen. So he goes back out of play for another Aston Villa throw over on the far touchline. They are in stoppage time in Barcelona. It's 2-2. Youngster Amaro Nallo sent off for Liverpool in their game. So we're going to 3 minutes of stoppage time here. That's all that Villa have to successfully navigate to do their part of the job. Celtic need to score twice in those 3 minutes if they're going to be seeded in the playoffs. Can't see that happening. An equaliser isn't out of the question. And Villa just need to hold on here and desperately hope that Barcelona can do them a favour. 2-2 their game with Atalanta. Here's Villa. Good chance. Schmeichel coming out. It's put into the net for 4. And it is job done. Morgan Rodgers with a hat-trick. Celtic guilty of overplaying from the back. Villa working it quickly inside the box. What a night for Morgan Rodgers, tapping the ball in. 2 goals in the opening 5 minutes and 1 right at the death. And Villa lead by 4 goals to 2. Morgan Rodgers with a hat-trick.
Just looking at John McGinn, he's waving everybody back furiously. He's almost telling his teammates, we need some more here. I don't know what's going on out there, Jim. You've got all the facts and figures and numbers with you, but John McGinn, when that goal went in for Morgan Rodgers, which was finished brilliantly, he immediately ran over to the bench, and the Villa hierarchy is urging their players to get back here and go and get another goal.
Morgan Rodgers.
Well, their finest things stand. It is on a whim and a prayer, because a goal for Atalanta finishes Villa off. If Villa score another one here, they go back above Lille on goal difference, so it wouldn't then matter if Atalanta score. 4-2 to Aston Villa. McGregor played out towards the right-hand side. Villa 4, Celtic 2. Maatsen winning it back, getting it forward. We've only got about a minute and a half to go. That Barcelona-Atalanta game is still going. Celtic have got it. Clipped over the top. Liccardo letting it run past him. And it's laid back to the goalkeeper Martinez, who will clear. Benfica have won at Juventus. A long ball played forward. Villa 8th in the table at the moment. It's enough with seconds remaining. And play has to stop here because Celtic have got a player down on the edge of the centre circle.
Oh, it's so frantic, honestly. It's incredible watching this and being part of it here. Villa have got the game won, no doubt about it. But they're kind of looking over to the coach, and I think Unai Emery is saying to his players, just keep going, keep going. They don't really know, actually, exactly how it all lies right now.
Well, Barcelona-Atalanta's in the 5th minute of stoppage time. And Villa, whilst they've got the job done here, winning it by 4 goals to 2, now just have a nervy wait. They've just got to wait and see, because if an Atalanta goal goes in the seconds that remain, Aston Villa will not finish in the top 8. But right now, they're okay. Never before, I'm sure, will Villa fans have been rooting for Barcelona to keep things tight at the back in the seconds that remain. But Villa have got the job done here. Fair play to Celtic, who are in the playoff positions. They'll be unseeded for the draw. We'll have a look at their potential opponents in a moment. But as things stand at the moment, Aston Villa are going to finish 8th, which is enough for them.
What a breathless game of football. An amazing night in so many ways. And then right at the end there, just to see the Villa lads not sure whether it was enough. They still don't absolutely know. What they do know is that they've done what they had to do tonight. They had to win this one. Morgan Rogers with the match ball under his arm. Brilliant hat-trick from him. They could have scored, if truth be told, 5 or 6, Villa, and probably should have. Celtic did well at times to hang on, get themselves back into the game, but never really threatened too much in the second half.
Well, in that Barcelona game, there were 5 minutes of prescribed stoppage time. They played 5.5. So any second now, the full-time whistle will go, and as soon as it does, Villa know they've got a top 8 finish. But still, fans around the ground...
Yeah, they're not leaving.
They're not leaving, and whilst they're indulging in a little bit of Neil Diamond, they're just waiting. Ears trained on radios, eyes looking at smartphones, fingernails being bitten to the quick. Still desperately waiting for the news. They've gone into the 7th added minute at Barcelona in that game that is still 2-2. Barcelona have twice led, but Atalanta, 11 minutes from time, equalised through Pasalic. And so that's still 2-2. If Atalanta win that, remember, Villa fall out of the top 8 and will be in the playoffs. At the moment, they're okay. Morgan Rogers has got the match ball in his hand, and he's just making his way over the halfway line. Big night for him.
Yeah.
Massive hat-trick.
Big night for him. Saw Thomas Tuchel earlier, who would no doubt have been impressed by Morgan Rogers. When the game goes in the balance a little bit, he's often the one that picks it up for Villa with those surges from the halfway line to the 18-yard box. He's so good at that. But look, really good game of football, really good night. There was a big build-up for this one, Jim, on the way here this evening. As ever, these Battle of Britain kind of connotations that always go on with these sort of matches just spice it up a bit more. Celtic gave a good account of themselves, but second half felt Villa were always the better and always looked the more likely to go and win it.
Arsenal have won away to Girona. PSV 3, Liverpool 2 in stoppage time. Liverpool down to 10 men. They're in the 5th minute of stoppage time there. They're in the 8th minute of stoppage time. That Barcelona-Atalanta game, and the Villa players are in a huddle.
They're watching it.
On the touchline around the smartphone. And the news is there. They've done it. They must have seen the full-time whistle blown in that Barcelona game. It has been. It's finished. Barcelona 2, Atalanta 2. And Aston Villa, having won 4-2 here and having seen good news from elsewhere, know that this first Champions League campaign, their first European Cup campaign for 41 years, sees them finish in the top 8 in the group. And they are in the last 16 of the Champions League. Now the party at Villa Park can really start. Aston Villa winning 5 out of 8, ending with 16 points, ending 8th. That is job done. What a night here in the second city. Villa 4, Celtic 2.
Andy Townsend, listen, let's all give a standing ovation to this new group stage format. Incredible. Not only have you witnessed 90-odd minutes of pure drama on the pitch with Aston Villa and Celtic, even when the final whistle blew, there was drama afterwards as well.
It's been some night, I've got to tell you. It really has. It's been incredible. And again, the game ebbed and flowed. Villa had it, looked like they were going to throw it away, and then grabbed it again, and then missed the penalty. Ollie Watkins had a bizarre night for him. Looked like he'd scored the all-important goal and then missed. He could have had 4 on another night on his own, and in the end Morgan Rogers getting that 4th goal, claiming a well-deserved hat-trick. But with everything else that was going on around, nobody really knew what to do when the whistle went. Everyone was just shaking hands. There was no major celebration until literally, as Jim said, about 30 seconds ago, when confirmation that Atalanta had only managed to draw the Camp Nou against Barcelona. So Villa have got into the top 8. And you know what? They've been in the top 8, to their credit, pretty much since the get-go. I think they deserve it. You know, some might feel they've sneaked in at the last minute. I don't think so. I think they've always been in the picture since that Bayern Munich game, that incredible night here a few months ago. I think they're in that top 8 with justification. They deserve their place in the elite this time round.
Straight into the round of 16, where they actually could face Atalanta. We'll round all that up when we've got all the full times. Not all of them are in at this moment in time, but what we know is Aston Villa are in the top 8. That means they miss the playoffs and go straight through to the round of 16, which has got to be a bonus. And let's also pay a big tribute to Morgan Rogers. 2 goals early on in the game, completed his hat-trick second half. What a talent this youngster is. Aston Villa have got hot property on their hands, Andy.
Yeah, no, they certainly have. He's an exceptional talent. He really is. He's come a long way in a very short space of time. I just think he elevates the team at the right moments. His ability to run with the ball and shrug off and resist challenges is as good as anyone as I've seen for some time. And he makes such a difference for this Villa team when they defend, give the ball to him, and he gets them up the park very, very quickly. And it's such a great asset to have. He's got strength. Tonight he showed the poise required with his finishing. That's the one area for Morgan Rogers. If he really starts to knock him in the back of the net on a regular basis, then Villa are going to be fighting tooth and nail to keep him next. No doubt about it, because between the two 18-yard boxes, he is unplayable at times.
Andy, been a brilliant night. Great commentary from you and Jim. Aston Villa make it into the top 8, through to the round of 16, where they will face one of these 4: Atalanta, Borussia Dortmund, Sporting or Club Brugge.